Alright, so this is probably something you wouldn't expect to see on my channel. This is a car that I bought a while ago, and the guy in the Suburban is our friend Chuck. He and his family came up for a visit, and he graciously offered to bring my car up. And it worked out pretty well because I had some truck parts that he wanted. If you remember the Chevy Cutaway van I pulled the LS motor and transmission out of, that was for Chuck. He's got a square body crew cab he's going to put it in, and he needed the dually wheels off of that truck, and he got some brand new aluminum wheels from us to use on another build he's doing. So it all worked out pretty well. They come up for a visit for a while, and it was nice to have them up here and get my car. So we're gonna get it off the trailer here in a minute, but you can see how squatted the rear of that Suburban is and how high the front wheels, the front end was up in the air. That was a long trip for his little Suburban. I don't think that car is exceptionally heavy, but he replaced the airbags on the back of the Suburban thinking that would be enough, but apparently the car was just a little bit heavier than the Suburban liked. But it made it here. He had a little bit of an issue with the transmission getting a little bit warmer than he'd like, but it made it just fine. So here in a minute, we're going to go ahead and get this thing unloaded, and we're not going to unload it off the trailer by pushing it. I think I'm going to do it a little bit different, but anyways, let's get it all unchained and get the straps off of it and get her off.
Well, we finally got his 1962 Impala here, and we're gonna get it off the trailer. It's kind of uphill, so we're just bringing the rollback up to it and gonna put it on there, and then I'm not sure. I think he's putting it in the garage. He's not really a car guy at all, but his dad had one like this, and that's the reason that he wanted it. Hey, that wheel chalk's under there still. Okay. I'm sorry?
Middle lever, move it up.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll get it. What?
Put it in neutral.
Oh, you want me to do it? Yeah? No? Okay.
I gotta get that block up.
Okay. Just gotta put it in neutral and get the wheel chalk out. Do what?
I'm good on the fenders.
Yes, you're fine. Got like 6 inches at least. What?
All right, so we'll talk about the attraction of this car, but I just wanted to show you the underside of it, how clean it is. So it came from South Carolina.
Sorry, I was in your way.
I mean, all of this you're seeing is surface. You know, there's no holes in it anywhere. Well, that's not true. The floor pan has a couple holes in it on this side and the deck lid, but we have a new deck lid for it on the trailer. So it's up here. So we got a new trunk for it. Not a new one, but a replacement. An OE, you know, 3 tail light trunk. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this where it's going and put her in her resting place for now.
I can't believe he kicked the Dodge out of the garage to put a Chevy in there. Just can't believe it. What? You need me to steer? Okay.
Look, looks like it's gonna come right where we need
The
it.
wheel's straight. The tires on it are straight.
Yeah, it may need to come this way just a little. All right, she's inside. This is going to be her home for the next year or so. Hopefully it'll be going in and out at different stages. We'll go over what this is. Well, I'll tell you how I came about this car. I was looking for one of these cars for years. And when I first started looking, the values of these cars were right about here. And for whatever reason, as some things get more popular than others, and then they kind of roller coaster up and down, as I started looking for these, the values started coming up. And I noticed a huge increase in values. Well, in that time, I started looking at cars, and I'm not a wealthy man, and, I looked at what they were going for, and I thought, what really stinks about that is it looks like a beautiful car today. The ones I was looking at that were done, they look like a beautiful car that was well done. But I'm not a body guy. So I had no idea what they were hiding underneath this car. I'm referring to the ones I was looking at that were already done. So the thought came to me was, I don't want to buy a car that I'm going to get it home, park it in the garage, and pull it out every so often, and then start seeing the bodywork, coming out of it. And I thought, if I'm going to spend the kind of money that these cars were demanding, then I should probably start with something that's a good base and start the process myself. So at least I know what we have and I know how it was done. So as I was looking, a good friend of ours, Chuck, he had this car, and he had decided that he was going to do something different, change his interest to something else, and he was willing to sell the car. So him and I made a deal. We struck a deal, and I bought the car. So for the last 2 years, this thing has been down at his place in storage in South Carolina. So he just recently brought it up to me this weekend, and I'm very grateful that he did, because now it's here and we can start moving forward. So over the last 4 or 5 years, I've been like a little squirrel stowing nuts away for the winter. I've been putting little pennies of money here and there, putting it away for this car. This is going to be an expensive thing for me. Like I said, I'm not a wealthy man, so this project is probably going to be one of the most expensive things I've ever done. Building a car like this, you don't do it because you're going to make money. You do it for other reasons. This is a car that's kind of important to me because it is a 1962 Impala Ss, and it's supposed to be an original car. It's supposed to have all the pieces are here to put it back together. The only one thing it's missing is a center console that goes between the 2 bucket seats, which we'll have to get. But it's supposed to have the original motor, engine, and a Power Glide transmission. The transmission that is in this is not the original Power Glide. It was swapped out at some point. Apparently it was supposed to have an aluminum cased Power Glide, and it has a cast iron cased Power Glide. It is an AC car. It is a power steering car, but it's a single cylinder manual brake car. It is a true SS. The number plate on the firewall, when I looked it up, it tells the same story of everything the car is. It is currently about ready. Well, it was being taken apart for paint. See, it's got the Impala Ss grab bar. There's the, I use this term loosely, factory AC. Now this floor pan has been replaced, and it looks like someone did a pretty good job at doing it. Of course, it's dirty now, but from sitting. But the driver's side needs to have that floor pan done to make me happy. Somebody was apparently trying to try their hand at changing over to console shift. It is still hooked up to the steering column. That steering wheel is obviously not correct, but we do have in our plethora of parts, we do have the correct steering wheel here. So we'll be getting that one the right color and putting it in. We have aftermarket bumpers for front and rear in those boxes. We have a lot of trim here. Supposedly all the pieces are here. Some will need polish, some will need recombed. Regardless, they're here. So this deck lid needs replaced. It has rust issues right here, but we do have that. And this door has been replaced. So it's not exactly on there right. It's kind of it's kind of sitting like this and needs adjusted a little bit more. Needs to come out at the top, as you can see here and here, but it's on there and it's a solid door. Again, that steering column has to go. The dash is all in place. The radio's not here. The big glove box is there. And there's the center speaker, or whatever it's called, for right there between the two seats. So the idea for this car is, this is going to be a, again, I hate to use terms I'm not really familiar with, but I'm going to call it a pro touring, if that's right. And again, I'm not a car guy, so you'll have to ignore some things that I don't have experience with, or I'm not familiar with. But what I want is a late model motor, late model overdrive transmission. I want vintage air conditioning that's tucked up underneath the dash. I don't want that big ugly box underneath there. I want cruise control, and I want this car to be able to do 75 miles an hour and still have lots of pedal left. I want to be able to take this car with me and my wife and, you know, take a road trip across country with it. You know, it's got a nice big trunk in the back, nice big back seat, should be a comfortable ride. That being said, this car was in process when before I got it. The chassis is in good shape. It has nice exhaust all the way front to back, and it was a running and driving car. However, it was parked for a few years, so it hasn't been started. We're going to do a first start on this car. It just won't be now. It'll be in another video. So the idea is I want to put four-wheel disc brakes, power disc brakes, all the way around. I want good suspension, front and rear. I want it to be a very comfortable car to drive for lots and lots of miles. Now, the significance of this car is, when I was young, my dad had a very similar 1962 Impala, and I would never forget it because it's what we call the bubble top. It's got that windshield that comes back like that, and thankfully the windshield's not too bad. It needs buffed. It's got a couple marks on it. But it was a twin antenna with the 3 tail lights on each side. So he had a car like this, and it was in similar condition. Unfortunately, my mom got sick, and he couldn't afford to put any money into the car. Eventually, he had to sell the car. When he sold the car, he was never able to find another one or financially able to buy another one like this. And then my dad got sick himself and passed away at the age of 48. I'm 47. So that kind of rents space in the back of my head. So my thoughts was, I would like to get this car in memory of my dad and do what he couldn't do, what he didn't get a chance to do. I want to redo this car and make this car what my dad would have liked this car to be. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to pull the front clip off. We're going to take the body off the frame. I'm going to build a rotisserie or buy a rotisserie, either or. Put the body on it, put it on the rollback, and find the appropriate people, the right body shop to get this to get this body done. While the body's gone, I will tackle the frame, suspension, motor, transmission, all of that. I don't know exactly my plan. Probably a 6-liter LS with a 4L80E. All of you know I am not a Chevy guy. However, for this build, I believe that is an appropriate choice. I'm not into carburetors. I like reliability. I'm not a carburetor guy, so all those guys are going to say, don't do this, don't do this. Listen, if you want to do this to a car and you want to do it your way, go find you a car. This one's very special to me, and I'm going to do it how I want so I can enjoy it while I'm thinking about my dad. So we'll get this off, take the front clip out, let them do all the work that needs to be done. And then we'll bring it back and put it together. Once this is all done, it goes right back to Chuck, and he's going to do my interior. He's going to do the complete interior, everything. Seats, headrest, kick panels, door panels, all of it. He's going to do it with a little bit of a twist, a little classy twist. But that is the car, and that's why the car is important to me. So I'm not going to tell you that this is going to be we're starting this project and we're moving on it consistently, because that's not what's going to happen. The car is going to eat up a lot of money in a hurry, and I haven't found the right body shop yet. I have to find it, and I'm not a body guy. So I'm not choosing a guy until I get that feeling that they're going to do it right, and it's going to be a a very well done car that I'm not going to have troubles with the work. So we have to do that. In the middle of that, I know a lot of guys always ask us, hey, what happened to this project? What happened to that project? You guys don't see it, but I work on trucks every day. And sometimes I video, sometimes I don't. When I start a video project, I continue on it. If I sell it and something happens, I end up getting rid of the project in the middle of it, I let you guys know. So if you haven't seen an end to a project, we still have it. It just hasn't made it back to the top of the list of importance at that time, because everything's in a pecking order. It goes from most important to least. And this is going to be a long one. But rest assured, for every step of the way, I'll bring you guys along. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, and we'll try and bring this along as quick as we can.